It's an emotional reaction. I'm amazed that you latch on to your hypothesis. I've agreed that your hypothesis is a legitimate, plausible hypothesis to explain the universe. What you haven't done so far is you have not agreed that my hypothesis is also a legitimate, plausible explanation of the universe. I don't know why you don't do that. You're kind of in a denial, and you keep going back to the same argument over and over and over again. Human beings make complex objects. There are complex objects in nature. Therefore, those complex objects in nature must have been created by an intelligent agent. You keep going over that same argument over and over again. It doesn't work. Furthermore, you've brought in a new idea that shoots your argument by analogy to pieces. You're saying now that there is an intelligent agent that creates something out of nothing. We have no examples of any intelligent agent creating something out of nothing. Human beings don't even do that. So you have nothing to go on there. So that isn't even an argument by analogy, because there's nothing analogous in the human world to creating something out of nothing. So I don't know where you're going to go with that. I don't think you can justify that at all.
Okay, I think it's really what I try to explain through this example. I try to basically say that we take many things for granted, that when we see in the nature, then since we kind of see every time, we really get used to, we kind of see as ordinary. We see as a normal to actually plant an apple seed and get apple tree and get an apple. And we don't really see this as the work of God. My argument is that every apple tree and every orange tree, every plant and everything are directly the work of God. My evidence for that, I'm saying that if it's not work of God, that you as a materialist, when you get, let's say, the seed of this, fruit, then now, when you look at the seed is nothing that there are certain arrangements, of some basic elements. Now, you smash the seed, meaning that you just actually, change the arrangement. And what else you needed to get the, let's say, apple? You need the soil, you need the water, and you need a seed. Now, I will give you the smashed seed, so meaning that I will actually dissolve the arrangement, but I will give the raw material, I will give you the water and soil and the smashed seed, and I will tell you go and make an apple or apple tree. If you can go and make an apple tree, meaning that you just need to basically get the soil, get this water, and arrange those particles in a way which actually produce a tree and which actually produce apple. Now, what you see is nothing other than the arrangement of the raw material. What we see in a factory, any factory, is nothing than the arrangement of the raw material. You put the raw material into the factory and you get the product out of the factory. Now, what I tell you, I say, there's no magic here. There's nothing other than what we see: the light, the heat, the water, the soil, the seed. The seed is nothing than the arrangement of those basic particles like hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen. I will simply smash that one, means that I don't want you to use the arrangement made by God. I will smash this one, I will give it to you. The moment that you go and arrange this, but no, I don't want you to use any intelligence. I want you to find a dummy, blind, unintelligent being try to arrange this raw material and give me an apple. If you can't do that, I want you to go and to find the most intelligent people try to make an apple. If you come up with one single apple tree, I will give up, will say, you know what? That's an proof that what we see like apple and orange, everything around us, are not the work of God, are just the work can happen without intelligence.
Well, you say we take many things for granted. I don't know what you really mean by take for granted. Yeah, I don't understand what you mean by that word. We observe nature. We don't understand much of it. We understand some of it. We're pleased when we gain more knowledge about it, but we recognize that there's still a lot left to learn. Now, I don't see how that is taking anything for granted. See, your idea of taking for granted, I think behind that is the idea that we've been given a gift, and that if we don't recognize the gift giver, then we're taking the gift for granted. But once again, that begs the question. So you assume what you're trying to prove. That's circular reasoning. That's your error in thinking here. And you said it again, everything in nature is the work of God. That's begging the question once again. You're assuming what you're trying to prove. That's an error in rational thinking. You offered the challenge to mankind. Well, make an apple tree from basic particles. Well, what we can or can't do right now in arranging basic particles has nothing to do with how the complex objects in nature came to be the way they are. I mean, those are two different things. There's some things in nature we human beings may never be able to produce. So what? What does that have to do with how they were produced in nature? You know, a bacterium. How was the first bacterium produced? You think it was some basic particles were created out of nothing by an intelligent being, and then after that they were arranged into a complex arrangement by that intelligent being. I don't think that. I think the four elements I mentioned earlier produced the first bacterium. Now, what's wrong with that? You say, can arrangements be made by blind and dumb things? Yes, they can. There was no intelligence in nature before the first living thing on Earth. So 10 billion years of the universe resulted in the production of complex objects without any intelligence at all. I think you should be able to make the last statement. We're out of time. I made the first statement, so I'll give you a chance to make the last one.
Okay, I think so. That's good that you at least accept that the blind and dumb one was responsible for making all this complex arrangement. My point is really, what I really have difficulty to understand that for you as a materialist, when you really look at the seed and look at the tree and understand that the tree is actually work like factory and produce, let's say, an apple. In that case, what I tell simply, if this is the arrangement of the material, the basic material out there, I will give you smash seed, I will give you the soil, I'll give you water, and I challenge you, see whether there could be, whether you think that a blind and dumb person can actually arrange this, even if you have thousands of years and ultimately make an apple and make a factory producing an apple or produce an apple tree, then can. So first of all, I think, you know, I don't think you can say that is possible. And but somehow, if in this case is everything in the universe are just arrangement like this, that we don't have to go back to the Big Bang. Every time when I look at an apple tree and an orange tree, what I mean by taking for granted, I see the process there as a factory building and production of this product. So now, when I look at the raw material and I look at the result, what I say that I certainly appreciate the product because it's very nutritious and helpful for me, and I certainly appreciate the complexity behind that because it is something that even beyond my intelligence to understand how it come into existence, and it's beyond my intelligence to really go and build it up. Now, this is not something that actually I can give credit to the seed, because seed is nothing other than just a simple arrangement, the arrangement of simple elements. So now, if the magic is hidden in the seed, I will give you those material. I will say, go and you should rearrange it. So my point is basically that if everything in the universe are nothing other than the arrangement of the basic elements that we both agree on, and if we from our own experience know that the arrangement, the complex arrangement, can only be the product of the intelligent being, and if everything around us in the universe are as complex as man-made arrangement or even more complex, then I personally think that they all are the very strong and unequivocal evidence that they are the work of God, and I benefit from them, and I bow down and I truly praise God for sending them as a gift to me.